mamas, it's your girl Carrie, and welcome back to another episode of Mom Wife, Career Life. Let me just say, summer is doing that thing where it seems to just sprint to the finish line. I'm trying to soak up every last ounce with the family. We're squeezing in a beach vacation over Labor Day weekend and trying not to ugly cry every time I think about this time next year when I'll be dropping Ashley off at college. And while we've gotten pretty good at the back to school transition over the years, I know for a lot of moms, it still feels like chaos with a side of whiplash because those backpacks are getting pulled out of closets, school emails are blowing up on your inbox, and suddenly every single weeknight has practice, a meeting, or an open house. That's exactly why I'm bringing back this episode. It's packed with real life, working mom-approved strategies to help you reset your routines, prep your people, and reclaim your calendar. But I'm also jumping in at the end with a few updated bonus tips to help you glide into the season with a lot less stress and a lot more confidence. And speaking of saving your sanity, can we just talk about dinner for a second? Because when you're getting home from work, dodging homework meltdowns and trying to remember if you're supposed to be at soccer or scouts tonight, the last thing you need to waste brain power on is trying to figure out what's for dinner. That's why I created my meal planning made simple guide. It's free. And it helps you take weeknight chaos off your plate, literally. Inside, I show you how to build a flexible, family-friendly meal plan that works even when your schedule doesn't. Go grab it, and trust me, your future self and your wallet will thank you. So whether you're in full-blown school supply mode or trying to squeeze in one last pool day, take a breath, mama. You're not behind. You're right on time. So let's dive into today's episode. Are you feeling overwhelmed trying to juggle all the many hats you wear as a working mom? Do you want more quality time with your family without distraction of work and time alone to take care of yourself and your needs? Welcome to Mom Wife Career Life. I'm Carrie, a wife, mom of 3, and a recovering perfectionist. In this podcast, I will teach you how to create balance in your life by implementing healthy habits, organizing your home and your schedule, being intentional with your time and in your relationships, and most importantly, how to start putting your needs first because no one can pour from an empty cup. Grab that second cup of coffee, or if you're anything like me, your third. It's time to dive into today's episode of Mom Wife Career Life. Can we just take a moment to wrap our heads around the fact that it's already back to school season again? I swear I blinked and the summer's over. And this year is hitting a little differently. Ashley's heading into her senior year. Cue all the emotions and all the plannings and all the lasts with her, starting with her last first day of school. I won't cry until the recording's done, I promise. But between sports schedules, school prep, college talk, and squeezing in some last summer fun, we're entering a whole new routine over here. And yes, fingers crossed, we'll hopefully have a brand new teen driver in the house come September. I know I kind of said hopefully. It's kind of bittersweet, scary. I'm excited and terrified at the same time. I'm kind of emotionally unwell, but also secretly thrilled that maybe, just maybe, I won't be the sole Uber driver in the house anymore. If she can take one school drop-off or a drive-through run on a crazy day, I might actually take the win. But here's the thing. Back to school doesn't just impact kids. It's a full-on life overhaul for us too. The schedule shifts, the routine changes, the calendar suddenly looks like a colorful game of Tetris if you color code like me. And hopefully you do, because otherwise it just looks like a big blob. And just like that, your quiet summer mornings are replaced with, where's my cleats? Or I need $12 for a field trip. So today I wanted to reshare my tips on how to help your family seamlessly transition into back to school mode. And make sure you listen to the end because I've thrown in some extra bonus tips. So let's jump right in. Number 1, sync those calendars. First things first, you need to get everyone on the same page, literally. You're going to sync all your calendars, sync your work calendar with your school calendar and your personal calendar. And don't forget to add in those extracurricular activities and any sports or scheduling apps that your kids' coaches or dance teachers use. Subscribe to them all. We live by our Google Calendar, literally. We put everything on there and I have it color-coded by family member. I also have a paper calendar that I print out at the beginning of the year. And I break that out too and write in important dates so it aligns with my Google Calendar. And then I hang up the current month in a central location so that everyone in the house, including my mom that lives with us, knows what we have going on, which is a perfect segue into number 2. Create a central home command center, or I like to call it a home management center, if you don't already have one. A home management center is basically a fancy name for a centralized point in your house where you're going to hang your monthly calendar. Maybe if you meal plan, which hopefully you do, save your sanity. Hang up your meal plan, a chore chart if you have one, and it's a central location where your family can go to see what's going on in your house that day, week, or month. There are some really beautiful home management center options out there. I've been looking to upgrade mine literally for years, but I'm just so picky that I haven't changed it. But it's a simple cork board that has a wooden frame that coordinates with my cabinets. I do have pretty push pins on there, but other than that, it's pretty plain. Number 3, establish an evening routine. Start practicing now to avoid chaos and any fights later. I'm starting out with evening routines here because mornings can be really hectic. So if you have a good evening routine, it really makes your morning so much easier. Your evening routine can involve laying out outfits, preparing and maybe packing lunches and snacks for the next day, getting the water bottle ready, setting up breakfast so you could just grab and go, packing up any bags for activities and whatever snacks they may need for those. And also in your evening time, you need to be setting up time for homework, hopefully a family dinner or two, and some time for relaxation. Because amongst the chaos of the week, you really do need a little downtime as a family, and consistency is key here. So get that routine established. Number 3, establish a morning routine. And this isn't just for yourself, but for your kids. If you want to reduce your daily stress, you should be getting up at least an hour before your kids to have some mama time while the house is peaceful and quiet. But your kids also need a good morning routine to start their day, and start them young. You can create a checklist for them. You could print it out and laminate it and then give them dry erase markers to just do little checks, maybe make it an incentive chart. But put things on there like get dressed, brush your teeth, make your bed, eat your breakfast, put your dishes in the dishwasher, pack your school bag, get your water bottle ready, brush your hair, whatever it is that you need your kids to do. If they are younger, you could use this checklist as an incentive chart, and if they check all the boxes in the morning, they get some screen time or to watch a show or extra time doing something that they love. If they are older, the checklists kind of stop working, and it may be more of a struggle to get them to do everything, and you may have to remind them to do things, but if you start young and you're consistent, there's a much better chance that those habits will stick. And again, with every new routine, consistency is key. The more you're consistent, the more likely it will become a habit. Number 4, plan lunches and snacks. My kids have become ridiculously picky over the past few years to the point that it's a serious frustration for me. No 2 kids like the same thing, and if I want them to eat, I need to cater to their likes, and to not lose my sanity, I need to plan, which can be very difficult when you have 2 mood eaters. They totally get that from us. I'll literally eat whatever you put in front of me, and I'm not a mood eater. I will just keep eating and eating and eating. My kids are not like that. I really wish that school lunches were cheaper because I would love to just not have to worry about packing lunches, but it ends up being over $90 a week for us, for the 3 of them, which works out to around $3,200 a year just for school lunches. So I pack to save money and save the buying lunch for days where we either run out of food and I don't have time to shop, or the weeks are just too hectic. But we are starting to plan now for our school lunch menu options. I'm putting it on the kids and attempting to keep the options somewhat healthy. We just joined Costco again this weekend, so I'm hoping to get some low budget inspiration there. Wish me luck. And I'll share whatever good deals and hacks I can find. The other thing I do is I buy colored plastic containers. I know there's some pretty bento boxes out there if your kids love the bento box style. My kids were never into it, so I have 3 different size Tupperware lunch containers. One is like a sandwich size and 2 smaller ones for snacks. And then each set is in a color. Luckily, every year I somehow find them in pink, purple, and green, which is the same colors I use to color code my planner for them. So it makes lunches and packing lunches and snacks a lot easier to keep track of who's because they all do eat different things. So good luck with lunches. Number 5, organize school supplies. I'm big on reusing supplies. In fact, Kaylee is totally like me. She loves her supplies so much that she takes impeccable care of them. So last year, I didn't even have to buy her any supplies, just a few notebooks and loose leaf to refill her binders. Even her binders was still pretty perfect. And those are the ones that get beat up because you're constantly pulling them in and out of school bags and lockers. And her pens and markers and highlighters were all good. So thank you, Kaylee. So first start by going through what you have, and then you're going to make a list of what you need. For younger grades, there's a supply list. And for older grades, there's a supply list too. But once my kids hit middle school, I didn't really use the supply list. I went by what other moms said their kids really needed. Like our middle school says to get a notebook for every subject, but we found that having 2 binders, one for classes before lunch and one for classes after lunch, really works out better. So the kids don't have to carry as much during the day, and there's less of a chance of them leaving an important notebook school or at home, but younger grades definitely stick to whatever the teachers ask for and label everything. Although the past few years, the teachers have been combining all the kids' school supplies like glue sticks and dry erase markers. I don't know why they do that. I'm not really a fan of it. I would rather the supplies I buy for my kids go to my kids. I think partially because I'm an office supply nerd. And when I was in school, I would keep all my supplies nice and neat and organized. And the thought of sharing and using someone else's isn't really my cup of tea. I don't know if I'm alone in that, but do whatever your school says for those ones. Number 6, set up a homework station. Designate a quiet, well-lit space for homework. Stock it with all the necessary supplies, pencils, paper, calculator, whatever you need. And make sure it's a spot free from distractions to help your kids really focus and get their homework done efficiently. My kids can't sit together when they do their homework. They all want their own quiet space, so we have a couple of different spaces. Michael usually uses the desk in his room or a dining room table. The girls share a room, so someone usually takes the desk, and I encourage one to use my office, but for some reason, they really don't like to be up there by themselves. But I am getting a desk in my family room that I'm really excited about because it's going to be my second personal work area and another place for me to podcast from. So I'll have it stocked with school supplies too, so they can use that. But the more stocked you have these areas, the less of a chance your kid will need to get up to get a supply that they're missing. And once they get up, there is more of a chance of them getting distracted by something and losing what little motivation they had to do their homework in the first place. Number 7, implement a screen time schedule. With school starting, it's really important to balance screen time with homework and activities. So set specific times for screens and try to really stick to it. When my kids were little, pre-cell phones, I had a screen time incentive chart where the kids had to earn their screen time. It was a simple chart that I laminated and hung up in the kitchen. And when they did a good thing or whatever we asked, like get their homework done, make their bed, or clear the tables, they would get 5 minutes put on the chart. But on the flip side, if they didn't do what we asked or whatever, we would reduce the time, and it worked out great. But now that they're older and have cell phones, it's really hard to manage screen time. There are ways to put parameters in place, but for every parameter you can put in place, there's probably 5 ways the kids know how to work around it. Apple really needs to start doing a better job. We've been a little lax with screen time and allowing cell phones in the room at night over the summer, but we're slowly moving back to no screens in the room. Which, side note, moms, hold off on giving your kids cell phones for as long as you can. I know it's hard when every other kid has one, but we really learned our lesson with Michael. We got him an Apple Watch, so he has text, can call, and we can find him whenever we need him. I hate to say track him because we really don't track him. We just use it if we haven't heard from him in a while and we know he's out with his friends to see where they are. But we had a big talk with him before his stepping up ceremony this year about cell phones, and he sees how addicted the girls are and how we struggle with getting them off their phones and how he's so imaginative right now and likes to go out and just do things and how a cell phone takes that away. So he really agreed that he doesn't need one right now. So we're going to try to hold out as long as we can. He luckily has a few friends with like-minded moms that are holding out as well. So fingers crossed, we'll see how that goes. The girls both had cell phones entering into middle school, but they didn't have Apple Watches. But technology and social pressure is just so hard as the kids get older and the kids start communicating with themselves through devices, and parents are completely taken out of the communication of setting up playdates or hangouts. It's like you're forced to make the decision of whether you want to keep your kids off devices or make sure that they're being included socially. I was just having this conversation with my life coach of how I wish I could go back to my pre-parent self and smack her in the head. I was the person that thought I would have my kids only eating healthy, doing chores around the house, wouldn't give my littles tablets, my older kids cell phones until they were high school, no social media until 18, would never let my girls show their bellies, and the list goes on of all the things I thought I would be doing better. And if you're still in the early stages of parenting, you might have those same thoughts, but I'm here to tell you now, it's so much harder than you think it will be. And I'm just sending you hugs as you get faced with making those decisions that go against all the things that you thought you would be doing and not doing as a mom. And at the end of the day, we're really just all trying to do the best. So I wish you the best of luck with the tech struggles, because that's probably, if you ask any parent, one of the hardest parts of parenting right now. Number 8, prepare for extracurriculars. Kids really need a healthy balance of extracurricular activities and just downtime. It's also important to give your kids the opportunity to try different things and not push them into things that you want for them. Maybe you really want your kids to play sports, but sports aren't for everyone. Or maybe you're not into sports and they really want to play a sport. It's about making the little sacrifices to see what lights your kids up. I really wanted my girls to do dance. It was something that I wish I stuck with, and I love watching dance routines, but my girls hated wearing the costumes and the dance recitals, and it became a fight to get them to go to dance classes. So when it started to not be fun for them, I didn't sign them up again. I do make them finish a season. I strongly feel and instill in my kids that if you sign up for something, you at least need to see it through for the season and then make the decision whether you want to sign up again or not. Kaylee has always been my sporty kid. She started basketball and soccer pretty young, and I was all about it. But then she came to us and said she wanted to give up soccer and try softball. And confession time, I strongly dislike softball, at least youth softball. It's just way too slow for me. And we went an entire season without Kaylee even touching the ball because she was in the outfield. And she would maybe get up to bat 2 times a game, whereas soccer and basketball, she's constantly running around. And especially basketball, it's just way more action. She stuck with it for a few seasons more because friends were doing it, and I never missed a game. But when she started to feel the same way I did and wanted to try volleyball, I was all about making the switch. So my advice, if you have to fight your kids to do an activity, maybe it's not for them. So make it easier on the both of you and try to find the thing that they really enjoy. But when it comes to activities, once you have them all picked out and schedules set, get ahead and start organizing whatever they need. Their gear, uniform, shoes, water bottle. Figure out the best bag to keep it all together so that way you can create a routine around having that bag packed with all that's needed. So you just have to pick it up, put it in the car when you got to go, and there's less of a chance of you leaving anything behind. Number 9, communicate with teachers. Reach out to your kids' teachers early in the school year. Elementary teachers usually reach out with a little welcome letter. But take the initiative to start an email chain and just establish good communication so that you can stay ahead of any issues or special needs that your kids might have. I loved what Michael's teacher did this past year. She had a policy where if your kid was having a bad morning or something personal was going on, just put a note in the folder saying handle with care that morning, and she knew to watch out for them. So see if your teacher can maybe set up something like that for you. Number 10, last but certainly not least, don't forget about you. Prioritize self-care. Make sure you're scheduling in some me time amidst all this back to school prep, whether it's that quiet cup of coffee in the morning that I just love, a quick workout, a relaxing bath. Taking care of yourself is so important for maintaining balance in every season of life, especially back to school. You cannot pour from an empty cup. So make sure you are doing something every week to fill that cup up. So as your schedules are changing and you're creating new routines, make sure you are putting time for yourself in there and make you a priority. I'm jumping back in to provide some bonus tips. Bonus tip number 11, do a dry run boot camp. Before that first day hits, have your kids do a full dry run of packing their bags and actually getting to school, especially if it's a new school for your kid. And if you don't want them to do the whole backpack thing, even just driving to the school so that they can get a look and feel for it. I know schools in our area allow for an orientation day for new students, so totally look into that. But letting them get a feel for what the school looks like, what the door they need to go to on the first day looks like, where you'll meet them after school, or where the bus might drop them off and pick them up, which is hopefully the front door of the school and hopefully close enough to your house. But the more they get a feel for it, the less anxious they're going to feel on that first day. And let's face it, the less anxious you're going to feel. I'm not sure if I've ever shared this one before, but I will never forget the first time Ashley got on the bus for kindergarten. I didn't realize I wasn't allowed to walk her onto the bus on her first day and make sure that she got settled and put a seatbelt on. And not only was I not allowed on the bus, but the bus driver started driving away before she even sat down. I literally started crying standing there on the corner. I will never forget it. I was such a worrier, and I kind of still am, but seeing her little face look over her shoulder on her Doc McStuffins backpack that was bigger than her, and now I see that little face is entering her senior year of high school. I'm telling you, moms, don't blink. Bonus tip number 12, reclaim your Sunday strategy session. This is so important. Sundays aren't just for meal planning. Use them to time block the week for your whole family. Make sure you come back next week because I'm talking about how to create a command center for your home. And in that episode, I talk about doing a Sunday strategy session with your family. It's an informal meeting. You fill out your weekly planner and you go over who has to be where and what they need for it. And you get yourself and your family mentally prepared for the week ahead. Kids know when they have practice, you know when your work meetings are non-negotiable, and everyone gets a better sense of what's coming. It's like a family forecast, except Instead of rain, it's mom's got a Zoom call or a PTA meeting on Tuesday, so it's leftovers for dinner that night. Bonus tip number 13, create a grab-and-go breakfast station. School mornings are not the time to suddenly become a short-order cook. Clear a shelf in your fridge, in your freezer, or your pantry with easy breakfast staples, muffins, yogurts, boiled eggs, fruit, oatmeal cups. Russ used to make breakfast burritos and just freeze them. That was great. My kids aren't really big on breakfast, but we're working on it, and there is a much better chance of them eating it if it's something that they could just grab and go. And do this for yourself, too. I'm currently on a low-carb diet to help with inflammation, and there is very little grab-and-go options that are low-carb. So creating those meals in advance, especially something that you could freeze and just pop in the microwave, is a complete game changer. And bonus points if you can get your kids to actually help you meal prep everything and create your grab-and-go station. Bonus tip number 14, set your own back-to-school intention. Let's be honest, when the kids head back to school, we moms experience a complete reset too. It's like our personal new year disguised in backpacks and lunchboxes. So instead of just powering through the chaos, I want you to pause and ask yourself, what do I want to feel this school year? Do you want to feel calm, clarity, confidence, more peace, more presence? Pick one word, write it on a Post-it, stick it on your bathroom mirror, planner, or even inside your car visor. Let it become your anchor when overwhelm starts creeping in. Because yes, the kids are heading into a new season, but so are you. This is your chance to realign on what matters most, create space for yourself again, and breathe a little deeper now that the house is at least temporarily a little quieter. And if I'm being totally honest, I'm kind of looking forward to having a little less chaos during the day, fewer back and forth drop-offs. I don't know what happened this summer, but the Uber driver life was real for me and I wasn't getting paid for it. And maybe even drinking a hot cup of coffee before 10 a.m. So let's claim the season, not just survive it. So I hope today's throwback with a little twist gave you a few new ideas and a whole lot of encouragement as we roll into this next school season and soon to be pumpkin lattes, but I can't wait. And remember, you don't need to do it all, and you definitely don't need to do it alone. Whether it's syncing your calendars, prepping lunches, or just reclaiming your Sunday strategy time, it all starts with giving yourself permission to lead with intention. And if you found this episode helpful, inspiring, or even just made you feel a little more seen, please do me a favor, follow the show and leave a review if you haven't already. And I'd love to have you come hang out in our Facebook community, Work-Life Balance for Working Moms. And if you have a back-to-school hack that you'd like to share, we'd love to hear it. Sending you so much love and light until next time on Mom Wife Career Life with Carrie Pat. Before you go, if you found this podcast helpful, I would be so grateful if you would take a minute, go on over to iTunes and leave me a review. If you have other stressed out mamas in your life that you feel this podcast could help, take a screenshot of this episode, post it on your Instagram stories and tag me, and let them know that they are not alone and they can create balance in their life too. If there's a topic you'd like me to cover or you just want to connect, DM me on Instagram at mom.wife.career.life or come on over and hang out in our free Facebook community, Work-Life Balance for Working Moms. Sending you so much love and light until next time on Mom Wife Career Life with Carrie Pat.